Hi, hello, and welcome to a new video. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrated, happy holidays, happy new year, and I'm glad to see you all in this one last video before the start of 2026. If you're an occasional visitor or even resident of Stan Twitter, or even someone who is on social media, I'm sure you've heard of people mentioning Zara Larsson in the past year. And I'm certain anyone knows at least three of her songs, even if you are not aware they are hers. She recently done an interview which inspired this video, as she said, and I am paraphrasing now. I feel like I'm finally out of the Kia asylum. People always knew my songs, but now I feel like they know me. If you don't know what Kia asylum is, it is a Stan Twitter term for pop stars or music acts that are deemed irrelevant or Kia. And it is an insult that stans give to one another when they deem the other's favorite is not nearly as important as their own or simply wish to offend someone. And the interview she's done has been my opinion since her slow return to the spotlight with the Symphony Dolphin meme in 2024. So I wish to do this video and talk about the history of Zara Larsson as a performer, her songs, what went wrong, what went right, and how does one finally brand themselves after years of trying. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so history. Zara Larsson had her start in 2008 at just 10 years old due to winning the Swedish version of Got Talent. She sang My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion with the money with the prize, has been released as Zara's single, her cover has been released as a single, as a reward for winning the competition. In 2012, she signed with 10 Music Group, which is a Swedish record label, to record her debut compilation, the EP Introducing. Introducing released on January 21st, 2013, with Uncover as the EP's lead single. It peaked at number 1 both on the Sverigo Topplistan, which I hope I'm saying correctly, and the Digilistan charts as well as peaked number 1 in Norway and number 3 in Denmark. In July of 2013, she was already 3 times platinum certified. On July 5th, 2013, her second EP, Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself, with She's Not Me part 1 and 2 as a double single drop. And also in 2013, she revealed she signed a 3-year-long deal with Epic Records in the United States, which will be her main label for promoting and publishing her music in the United States. Her first studio album, which is fittingly named The One, was released on October 2014 and went platinum in Sweden and my house. On June 5th, 2015 is where I would say her turning point was, as she released a single from her then upcoming album, A Lush Life, a single that I am sure most of you have heard. The song became her second number 1 single and was certified 4 times platinum in Sweden. The song reached top 5 in 18 countries and was certified platinum in 16 countries. On July 22nd of the same year, Larsson released her collaboration single with English singer Emnek, which is titled Never Forget You, another incredibly commercially successful single that I'm sure you've heard of. The second single from her upcoming album, Larsson was featured in, which is the single with Emnek, is the second single from her upcoming album at the time. Larsson was also featured on the official song of the UEFA Euro 2016, which is David Guetta, This One's For You. On September 1st, 2016, Zara released Ain't My Fault, which is the third single from her also then upcoming album. I'm sure another song you've heard of. On October 22nd of 2016, she was named one of Time's 30 most influential teens of 2016 at just 18 years old. She released I Would Like, the fourth single from the same album run in 2016, on November 11th. It's called I Would Like, and it peaked at number 2 in the United Kingdom and at number 4 in Sweden. In January 2017, she released So Good, featuring Ty Dolla $ign, which is for one of her first American collaborations. The single served as the 5th single from her second album of the same name, and it was released on March 17th in 2017. And it was her first international album, first promoted one in the United States. The album also features a collaboration with WizKid titled Sundown. Another crucial part of her career is Symphony by Clean Bandit, which features her and was included as a bonus track and released as a single on also in 2017. It became her 5th number 1 single in her home country and her first number 1 single in the United Kingdom. The album became her second number one album in Sweden, and it peaked in top 10 in Australia, Denmark, Finland, Netherlands, and New Zealand, and Norway, and also the United Kingdom. I'm saying "and" too much, I apologize. My script is written very non-aesthetically. In January of 2018, Larsson was named in Forbes' 30 Under 30 list in the entertainment category. In September 2018, she announced the lead single from her third studio album, Ruin My Life. She released a song and music video on 18th of October 2018, and the track was commercially successful worldwide, being certified at least gold in both the US and the UK, while it reached number one in the Netherlands. In 2019, Larsson released the follow-up single, Don't Worry About Me and All the Time, as well as then the promotional single, Wow. In June 2020, she announced the single Love Me Land through Instagram. She released the song and music video on 10th of July 2020. In September of 2020, she released a remix of Wow featuring the then known only as the American singer Sabrina Carpenter, which I had to keep in as it's a part of this brief history due to how they seem to be on the same career trajectory and how interesting it is where they both were when that remix released and where both of them are now. It is entirely fascinating to me personally. Poster Girl, which is her both album and single, was released on 5th of March 2021 to positive reviews, though it only performed moderately commercially, debuting at number 3 on Swedish album charts, 12 on the UK album charts, and 170 on the US Billboard 200, and it is one of her lesser known albums. In June 2022, she announced that she had left 10 Music Group to start her own record label named Summer House and acquired ownership over her musical catalog in the process. I had to include that because it is both an important part of her business journey and also it is a good note for every artist that is impossibility to take, because having ownership of one's work is crucial to keeping one's freedom, and I just want to praise every time someone does that. She also renewed her contract with Epic Records, so all her future releases from then on would be released by Summer House, but under exclusive license to Epic Records in the US, and will be distributed by Sony Sweden in Sweden. On January 22nd of 2023, Larsson released Can't Tame Her, the lead single from her fourth studio album, Venus. On December 1st of 2023, she released her holiday EP, Honor the Light, neither of which performed incredibly nor crucial lasting impact on at least the world, maybe in Sweden, I don't know. And then 2024, which is kind of the trajectory of her career changing on its head, the Dolphin Symphony meme happened. I just wanna be part of your symphony. And Zara Larsson did not waste that momentum. If you don't know what the Dolphin Symphony meme is when someone back in 2024 put the familiar picture, it is on the screen, of the colorful pastel dolphin with her high note from Symphony playing in the background and using it as a meme to say something either ironic or something kind of insane, but with that positive twist of the Symphony meme. So on April 25th, 2025, she released Pretty Ugly, the lead single from her fifth studio album then, Midnight Sun. The title track, Midnight Sun, was released on 13th of June 2025 as her second single from the album and received a nomination for Best Dance Pop Recording at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, which will be held this January, becoming her first Grammy nomination. The album was released on 26th of September 2025. She joined Tate McRae as a supporting act and opener on the North American leg of the Miss Possessive tour from August to September of 2025 before embarking on the Midnight Sun tour in October of 2025. That is kind of the brief history of her artistry, creativity, and how her career has been going so far. I have discovered interesting things, like the fact that I did not know she won Got Talent as a child. It was a fascinating thing to me. But now the part 2 of the video and the entire point of it kind of is success in music versus success in branding as a separate category. Now that we caught up or learned about Zara's very commercially successful career, or at least the parts I deemed most crucial, we can look at why she's not, up until this point, deemed a global pop sensation. Objectively, Zara's songs had a time where they were reigning on the charts. In 2016, 4 of her songs entered the Billboard Hot 100, and Never Forget You with M Next stayed on the chart for 23 weeks. which is a lot based on how many hit songs they were in 2016. And then she had 2 songs for over 20 weeks on the bubbling Hot 100, which also were 2 of them were in the #1 spot for weeks, just shy of breaking into the Hot 100. And if we look at the UK charts, which reflect Europe taste better, but they're not Sweden, so you can't say, oh, well, she's Swedish, obviously she's going to rate in her country. We're looking at the UK, which is kind of more of the objective European lens, kind of, or at least it was back then. She did not have a song that was not in the top 20 of the charts. All the songs that charted in the top 20. Objectively, she's a powerhouse artist, and yet we have for years classified her with the ranks of Bibi Rexha or Ava Max or Sabrina Carpenter before 2024. Which the Sabrina thing leads us to the point of this video, which is branding. Many people have spoken about branding of a pop star, most notably last year when the conversation was rehashed due to Sabrina blowing up again. Art at Midnight, the YouTube channel I love watching, has an incredible video about it, about Sabrina, branding, and whatever. And one about Madison Beer, which tugs on the same topic. I'll link it below in case you're interested in the topic further, and most likely it is explained a lot better than I could. But basically, what distinguishes a marketable persona under capitalism is identity that can turn into capital. Yes, music sells, and thus turns into capital that way. But I am more so talking about direct marketing. And marketing boosts the sales of the song, thus making it an inseparable tool, especially since streaming, as we have seen in recent years, was released to pay abysmally low, even for songs with millions upon millions of streams. Every major pop star you see nowadays, and even back in most days, has a brand, a persona. As we mentioned, Sabrina Carpenter, she developed a sultry, playful persona akin to a pin-up doll of sorts, and she kept the thread throughout all her 3 mainstream eras. If we take her as our lab example, no offense to Sabrina, first era, Emails I Can't Send, was the heart cutouts era, the go-go boots, giving sweetheart or Cupid, yet having the same flirty edge still during it. Then Short and Sweet blew up and happened with the kind of bedhead curls and bodysuits, with the heart cutouts being a lot more prominent remaining, though slowly transitioning into kiss marks as a different sign of a different era. And now the man's best friend era, which kept the bodysuits but pushed harder on blush and tighter curls, which is meant to implicate a lot more of a sultrier image. But like I said, the sultriness has been slowly building. Olivia Rodrigo can be another example. She kept the color purple and the stars as a shape associated with her, and she built on it from the kind of heartbreak, dreamy, somewhat teen pop of her first album. That edge had some punk elements, making it a darker purple and more pop punk rock for Guts. Both, while they did not stay the same every era, as that would also be announced as boring by the masses and would fail in the eyes of the ever-changing trends and the public that expects a lot more from women than I think is realistic, but that is a topic for another video. But like I said, they remained kept enough elements from a previous era to stay recognizable, yet kept shifting their image. For example, if we return to Sabrina, who I have mentioned a million times in this video, if we cut out Short and Sweet from her and went from Emails I Can't Send straight to Man's Best Friend, the transition would be quite jarring and intense, and most likely would face even more backlash than it did now, because everything always faces backlash. Back to Zara Larsson. Prior to 2024, when the symphony meme happened, she mostly wore whatever style is deemed trendy enough, though often, and to no offense to Zara or her team, it looked like a Fashion Nova catalog. She looked like she could be anyone, even if she never looked bad per se. She always looked like someone who just walked onto the red carpet without knowing exactly what they want from it. And then, after her rebrand seemed to be given to her by the internet on a silver platter due to the symphony meme, she fully pushed through the pastels, the Lisa Frank-esque style of the original dolphin drawing, saturation, and some sense of positivity. We saw she accepted it in her TikToks around the time of the meme, but we did not know the impact it would have until the Midnight Sun music video dropped. There is a scene in the music video which seems to be a direct reference from the meme, from the outfits, her in the water with a rainbow behind her, all in pastels, and the saturation turned all the way up. But all her other outfits in the music video as well held a thread of color and saturation, making it an established aesthetic, not a one-off scene. She even hired Lisa Frank to make one of her vinyl covers, or someone on her team, showing a knowledge of what the fans wanted. And she doubled down on it while opening for Tate McRae on the Miss Possessive tour, further developing it on her own Midnight Sun tour. It also helped that her makeup stylist, Sophia Sinot, went viral for the pastel, colorful, glittery makeup she done on Zara right on the turnaround of the decade. It was both strategic and kind of lucky where the luck should be placed, due to the fact that the makeup world, clean girl makeup, which we all know and have an opinion about, has been reigning for a while ever since quarantine. And the pendulum is waiting to swing. If you know what the trend curve is, which is predicting how the trends go, we are around the early adapters to early masses stage of the new trends of makeup, in my opinion. And it was not just her makeup that trended or her outfits. An entire dance was created for her the 2015 song Lush Life that she is also performing on tour. And she cleverly made a shtick out of it, taking out one fan on stage to dance the final chorus with her, a move that many artists have been doing since the Eras Tour 2022 had, and more recently the arrests on Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet tour. It creates something memorable, forces people to listen to the song multiple times in order to learn the choreo, and gives every show something new. Zara or someone on her team seem to know their target audience very well and have kept the clutches of something that started as just a meme and trend on a full-on rebrand. And she continues on the trajectory. I do believe she can pull a Sabrina, who I referenced a million times in this video, so poor woman if she's hiccuping, if you know that reference. And if comparing to Serena, Zara is currently in her emails I can't send era, and it could make a blow-up moment into full-on the mainstream. I love seeing someone who worked hard succeed. I love it when someone who has years of experience and is obviously hungry finally push into the spotlight. To me, it is a lot more satisfying. So, do you have any personal opinions on Zara Larsson or her rebrand? Do you have any opinions, thoughts, feelings of the songs, of the video, of anything I said or done? Let me know in the comments. Happy holidays, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.